Have you ever watched The Innocents 1961 and felt like there was something lurking just beyond the frame that you couldn't quite explain? In today's video, we'll peel back the shadows and reveal surprising secrets and behind the scenes mysteries about The Innocents 1961 that even longtime fans may not know. Get ready, the haunted corridors of a household more than just ghosts. Fact 01, the real ghostly atmosphere. The unsettling mood of The Innocents 1961 wasn't just cinematic magic, it was carefully crafted through visual trickery. Cinematographer Freddie Francis used innovative techniques like blooming lights and fog filters to blur the line between reality and hallucination. This ethereal look gave every ghostly scene a dreamlike terror, immersing audiences in the governess's unstable perception. Director Jack Clayton insisted on shooting through multiple layers of gauze, creating a haunting softness that mirrors psychological dread. Many viewers didn't realize that the ghosts may not even exist, they're possibly projections of the governess's disturbed mind. This deliberate ambiguity is what makes the film terrifying. Even decades later, it's never clear if you're watching a haunting or a breakdown. Fact 02, Deborah Kerr's psychological preparation. Deborah Kerr's haunted portrayal wasn't simply acting, she immersed herself in the governess's fragile psyche. Before filming, she studied Freudian psychology and Victorian repression to convey subtle madness. Kerr's performance relies heavily on micro-expressions, trembling lips, darting eyes, and sudden gasps. Director Jack Clayton encouraged her to never confirm whether her character was sane or delusional. Kerr later admitted in interviews she didn't know the truth either, and that uncertainty made her performance more authentic. This layered acting turned Miss Giddens into one of cinema's most complex heroines, torn between purity and obsession. Fact 03, the hidden sexual symbolism. Though marketed as a ghost story, The Innocents is layered with Freudian and sexual undertones. The story's tension stems not just from ghosts but from Miss Giddens' sex repressed desires. Subtle imagery, candles flickering, blooming roses, whispered voices symbolizes awakening sexuality. Critics later interpreted Miles's eerie maturity and ambiguous relationship with Giddens as reflections of Victorian taboo. This subtext shocked audiences in 1961 but became a hallmark of the film's psychological depth. It's less about haunted spirits and more about haunting emotions. Fact 04, adaptation of Henry James's The Turn of the Screw. The Innocents adapts Henry James's classic novella, The Turn of the Screw, 1898, but it's not a faithful copy. Screenwriter Truman Capote added layers of ambiguity and subtle horror. He intensified the governess's obsession and introduced suggestive dialogues never in the original text. Capote's script blurred moral boundaries, turning the film into a haunted psychological labyrinth. His poetic dialogue, full of whispers and pauses, deepened the eerie tone. Fact 05, the children's uncanny performances. Martin Steffens and Pamela Franklin, playing Miles and Flora, delivered performances beyond their age. Director Clayton shielded them from the full psychological meaning of the story, guiding them through tone rather than plot. Their innocence mixed with eerie maturity unsettles the audience. Steffens' haunted smile in the final scenes became iconic. It suggests both innocence and possession, perfectly fitting the film's ambiguity. Fact 06, ghosts in the frame, are they? Clayton instructed cinematographer Francis to position ghosts subtly in the frame, sometimes barely visible. In several shots, ghosts appear for less than a second. Some viewers missed them entirely. This technique heightened paranoia. Are the apparitions real or imagined? In fact, some scenes show no ghost at all, only lighting and sound suggesting one. It's psychological manipulation at its finest. Fact 07, sound design as a character. In The Innocents 1961, sound isn't just background, it's a ghost itself. Sound designer George Grove built a haunting audio world using whispers, rustling winds, distant laughter, and faint church bells. These sounds often appear from nowhere, making the audience question what's real. Director Jack Clayton used silence strategically, letting quiet moments stretch until every creak felt alive. The eerie lullaby, "Oh Willow Whaley," sung in a childlike voice, becomes a haunting refrain, innocent yet deeply unsettling. The soundscape mirrors Miss Giddens' unstable mind. What she hears might be ghosts or her own fears echo back. It's one of the earliest films where sound tells a story beyond the visuals, guiding emotion, building suspense, and turning the unseen into something terrifyingly real. Fact 08, the mansion's haunted beauty. Sheffield Park House, where The Innocents was filmed, feels like it's alive, breathing with secrets and sorrow. It's the kind of beauty perfectly mirrors the governess's fragile psyche. Production design emphasized elegance fading into ruin. Dusty halls, overgrown gardens, candlelit corridors. Nothing overtly screams haunted, yet every corner feels unsettled. Cinematographer Freddie Francis captured light filtering through fog, turning rooms into dreamlike spaces where ghosts might linger unseen. The house itself becomes a silent witness, neither good nor evil, but charged with memory. Its vastness isolates Miss Giddens, making her descent into paranoia inevitable. Many critics believe the mansion is the true ghost haunting everyone inside. Fact 09, the mirror symbolism. Mirrors in the innocence are more than reflections, they're psychological traps. Miss Giddens often glimpses figures behind her in glass, unsure if they're real or imagined. Director Jack Clayton used reflections to symbolize fractured identity and suppressed desires. When Giddens sees the ghostly Peter Quinn in a mirror, it's never clear if he's truly there or a vision born from obsession. Each mirror blurs the line between truth and illusion, showing that the real horror might lie within her mind. These reflections become haunted metaphors. Are we watching a haunting or a woman haunted by herself? Fact 10. Truman Capote's uncredited influence. Although William Archibald received the screenplay credit, Truman Capote's rewrites gave The Innocence its poetic, ambiguous tone. Capote deepened the psychological tension, added suggestive dialogue, and wove in Freudian undertones. His subtle writing blurred morality. Are the ghosts real or projections of desire? His fingerprints are everywhere. Lyrical exchanges, eerie silences, and unspoken tension. Without Capote, the film might have been a simple ghost story. With him, it became a haunted study of repression and madness. Fact 11. Ambiguous ending. The ending of The Innocence, with Miles's death and Giddens' sex desperate kiss, remains one of cinema's great mysteries. Did the ghost kill him? Did she? Or did her belief in the haunting destroy them both? Director Jack Clayton refused to explain, insisting ambiguity was the point. The final image, her face frozen in grief, leaves audiences debating for decades. This open-ended turns the film into a psychological riddle. Was the evil outside or within? Fact 12. Banned and censored scenes. Not all versions of The Innocence are the same. Some international releases cut scenes deemed too suggestive, especially moments hinting at Miss Giddens' sex, complex feelings toward Miles. A census-trimmed dialogue exploring repressed desire, softening the film's psychological depth. In contrast, the UK kept these scenes intact, preserving the ambiguity that makes the story powerful. These edits reveal how daring the film was for 1961, tackling themes of innocence, obsession, and forbidden emotion. Fact 13. Real ghost stories on set. During filming at Sheffield Park House, crew members whispered about strange occurrences, flickering lights, unexplained drafts, cold spots appearing suddenly. Deborah could joke the mansion was truly haunted, though some on set weren't laughing. One night, a technician swore he saw a shadow moving down an empty hallway. Whether coincidence or something more, these eerie tales blurred the boundary between fiction and reality, adding an authentic chill to the production. Fact 14. Cinematic influence. The Innocence shaped decades of psychological horror. Guillermo del Toro praised it for showing fear through beauty. Its DNA appears in others. 2001, The Haunting of Bly Manor, 2020, and countless Gothic films. Its use of suggestion, atmosphere, and ambiguity inspired filmmakers to trust silence over jump scares. Every whispering corridor and unseen ghost in modern cinema owes a debt to Clayton's haunting vision. Fact 15. Preservation and legacy. Today, The Innocence, 1961, is hailed as one of Britain's greatest horror films. Preserved by the beefy wire and restored in 4K, it continues to enchant new generations. Critics celebrate its ambiguity, elegance, and psychological depth. Unlike most ghost stories, it refuses easy answers. Each viewer reveals new secrets. Its legacy endures not through terror, but through timeless mystery. It's not just a film, it's an experience that lingers like a ghost. The Innocence, 1961, remains a masterpiece because it never tells you everything. It whispers in shadows, teases you with glimpses, and leaves you uncertain. Were those ghosts real, or projections of guilt and desire? Its influence on Gothic horror is their informal choices, and the haunted performances continue to captivate new audiences decades later. So I have to ask, which fact surprised you the most, and what hidden detail would you want a future video to explore further in The Innocence 1961? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through Bly House's mysteries, please like, share, and subscribe for more unsung secrets of film classics.